Well, hey everybody, this is Don from Wizard Tower Games. Thanks for tuning in to our end of month mashup. In tonight's mashup, I'm going to be talking about a lot of different projects. We're going to be going through Lost Adventures of Gary Con. We're going to be going through Forgotten Mines of Durium. I'm probably butchering that. St. Coopeth, how are you doing, Greg? Hope everything's good with you. So let's get right to it. All right. First off, I want to wish Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern a happy birthday. It's his birthday today. So if you swing on over to his YouTube channel, say happy birthday to Eric. I think he turns like 25 today or something like that. Holly, how you doing? Hope everything's well with you. So happy birthday to Eric. And yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, first off, I want to talk about this. Lost Adventures of Gary Con, that is not, there we go. Lost Adventures of Gary Con. It's out. We got them completed actually last Friday. I've had to wait a couple days because my book shippers were too thin for it. So I had to order more through Uline, and it took them a few days to get them to me. So they're actually going to start going out tomorrow, so people start seeing their trackers tomorrow. To everybody who's been supporting us by buying copies and such, thank you very much. You can still go to wizardtowergames.com, hit the store, and you'll go right to our store website, and you'll be able to pick up a copy of it if you want. Parasocial audience, how you doing? Terry, how you doing? Yeah, happy birthday, Eric. So basically, I want to do an end of month mashup. I want to explain to everybody what's going on here. There's a few new projects that are kicking up. I spent the afternoon over at Tim Cask's yesterday. Tim was gracious enough to grill us hot dogs, and we brought potato salad. My wife went with me. Tim's wife is awesome. Jim Wampler was there. So me, Tim, and Jim sat on the back porch and ate hot dogs and talked games and game design and all the cool stuff that three geeks do, and had a really good time. Tim is an excellent host. So me and Tim have lined up a couple of new projects we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a special module that he's going to be doing at WizardCon. That involves mice. It's a really cool adventure, and we're also going to be doing 1 to 2 other projects. Definitely one other one, so 2 projects, maybe a third. It depends how long it takes to get it out to people. So be looking for news for that coming up here pretty quick. Like I said, Lost Adventures of Gary Con are starting to ship tomorrow. If you've ordered one, you'll start seeing trackers over the next few days. It's going to take us a few days to get everything together and get it all boxed up, labeled properly, and everything like that. Because some people not only ordered a Lost Adventures, they ordered like a module and a deck of cards and other bits and pieces. And I want to make sure everybody gets what they're supposed to do. So bear with me. D20 Delving. D20 Delving, I'm actually starting to produce midweek this week, which is coming up tomorrow. My plan is I want to get what I call an alpha game out, which is a primary completed game. I'll do a video of it. I'll show everybody of it. We're going to give a demo of it and everything, and then we'll go into primary manufacturer so we can get them out to our Kickstarter supporters. So thank you very much for everybody for your support on the Kickstarters. We have a project called The Forgotten Mines of Durium by Greg Gallran, aka St. Cuthbert, in the chat. It is his adventure module for 4 to 6 players, levels 6 to 8. Really cool module. We got that back finally from Edit. I'm walking through the edits tonight, then I'll send it to Greg tomorrow, and he can look at them and kind of give his feedback on them. And then once we go ahead and we get it back from him, we're going to enter into primary artwork and also primary layout. So an exciting time for Greg. Congratulations. Paulie Kid, I had a video meeting last week with Paulie Kid. We had a few email chats back and forth, and look for, we're actually entering in the primary layout for Snarkberry's School for Magically Inclined. We're going to be doing primary layout for that. We're getting into primary art, which we already have some. I actually got an email from the primary artist on that project, so we're going to be getting some more different kind of artwork in there. Scott, how you doing? Hope everything's well with you. Happy Tuesday to you. Blades and Sorcery Basic, which is Eric Tenkar's mine and Tom Verolt's pet project that we kind of all got into, is going into bind this week. We're going to be getting all the saddle stitching done on it, so look for that probably by end of weekend maybe. There's a few people that purchased one. We'll get them ship it out to you and all that. So there's that. Make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, also, me and Polly Kid are right now talking about bringing to the masses a simplified tabletop mass combat war game based on Japanese samurai history. That's kind of a passion with Polly. She's really into that. I believe Polly said she went to school for it. So that is probably going to be something that you're going to be seeing coming out through us as kind of like a mass combat with little 28 millimeter, maybe a little bit smaller miniatures, but more of like a Japanese shogun, samurai, ancient Japan type thing. And the rules will be so cool that eventually we'll kind of develop into other genres. So that's pretty cool stuff. I have a mega module I'm getting ready to put out. It's called Lair. It's going to be coming out in 2 different editions. There's going to be an OSR AD&D 1E compatible game version, and then there's going to be a 5th edition 5e version. And basically what Lair is a it's kind of a unique module. You start off in a city, then you kind of go through the city, you do the bits and pieces and wherever it lays, and then you end up in a ruined castle and you have to deal with the situation that you're going to run into. Along with that, we have Zonk. David Floor, thank you. He has been working on that with me. I'm going to be David's pretty much got all primary coding done. There's a few small things we need to do. I'm going to be providing David like a spell list, so you're going to have expanded spells. We're going to be putting more items inside Zonk. So as you're manipulating the game and as you're going through the game, you're going to be able to actually, on the computer, you're going to be playing the game. You're going to be able to do things like search rooms and kick doors, and you're going to be able to do things like battle monsters, avoid monsters. I mean, it's a really cool, detailed, interesting game. And it's basically a video game online. So it's kind of text-based and that. T. Taylor says, what is the level range for Lair? Lair is going to be anywhere between 4 and 8th level. 4th level to 8th level. You can go ahead and do lower level. Like a 1st level player really could get into Lair. The way I do my modules is I give tables in the module, even though it may be like from a module designed from 4th to 8th level player characters. I put other tables in there where if you need to tone it down a little bit, like maybe you have some 4th level characters, but maybe they're like really low on hit points, or they didn't get the best stats. You're going to be able to kind of play with that a little bit and kind of mess with it. So it has a lot of flexibility in it. St. Cuthbert says, any chance you could have Wizard Tower game t-shirts made for something like 40% polyester, cotton, 100% cotton? I like it when the shirt wraps tightly around my belly. Well, we actually have a few t-shirts on our in our web store. I actually need to update my web store because we have more product, like we have cups and t-shirts and mugs, mouse pads, keychains, that we custom make. And then I also have the game products, and I got to update my game products because we're adding a lot of game products to the catalog. So I got to check, Greg. I got to see if that, what our t-shirts are made of. I don't know. Good question. I'll check and I'll get back with you. Remind me via email, okay? Basically, that's the thing with Zonk, is text-based with visuals, imagery. You have a character, you have all your character stats, kind of deplete or add as you take healing potions, heal, as you take damage, as you engage monsters, engage traps, that type of thing. So, hopefully we'll be into beta with that here pretty soon, so we'll be able to kind of start getting into some heavy core, hardcore play testing. But back to Lair, T. Taylor, your question. Yeah, 4th to 8th, but comfortably probably first, second level characters could kind of get into it, because it kind of starts off and allows you to kind of get ready for what you're getting ready to face. And Lair's a big module. It's not a 20, 30, 40 page module. It's a couple excuse me. It's a couple 100-page module. I mean, it could be a campaign. It could easily be a campaign that you want to play and you want to on-go play. And it has like the cool thing about Lair is all the maps are in there, and then along with the basic maps that come with it, there's going to be a few printed maps, larger 12 by 18 maps that we print for it. So a lot of cool stuff. I also want to talk a little bit about Wizard Tower Publishing. Wizard Tower Publishing is going to be our book publishing arm that we are firing up. The website's almost done. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing book publishing. We're going to be offering publishing narrow subject matter. We're going to be publishing things like sci-fi, fantasy, steampunk, that type of genres, kind of wrapped around gaming, if you will. And we'll see where it goes. I had a publishing company before, and it worked out really well, so we're going to see where we do with this. Sinkuber says you've got some great projects going on, exciting times for you and Wizard Tower. Yes. I've had the pleasure and the honor of working with some really cool industry folks like Tim Kask and Polykid, and just a lot of really cool people. Eric Tenkar, Tom Verrolt, Greg, I got a chance to work with you. That's really cool. So it's really nice to be able to work with other people who are talented, who understand the way game design and game layout and the process works. And it's really cool even if you meet somebody you're working with who doesn't understand it, because you kind of can guide them and make them understand it. The Forgotten Minds of Durham by St. Cuthbert will be probably kicking up here pretty quick. Once Greg gets done looking at the edits, we'll get them to him this week. Once he gets them back to me, we're going to sit down and have probably a video meeting, and we'll get kind of the feedback back and forth. We'll make a decision on the pathway to move forward with it, and it goes right into layout and artwork. So cool stuff. Brian Thomas says, will Blazing Arcana Basic be available as a PDF on DriveThru RPG? And if so, do you know what the price will be? It's actually called Blazing Sorcery Basic now. I am going to get it on DriveThru RPG, but also through my web store, it's going to be also available via PDF. We have the ability to sell PDFs on our web store. So there's going to be the thing I hesitate with DriveThru RPG, to be totally candid with you, is they take a very large chunk of the money that any publisher puts on there. And they really are geared more towards publishers who do not have the online ability to sell PDFs or print media. We print our own stuff. So, I don't need DriveThru RPG's POD service, because I can go ahead and do my own printing. And it's kind of like the same thing with PDFs, but I understand a lot of people like DriveThru RPG and a lot of people use DriveThru RPG. So we're going to take our account and we're just going to kind of use it more exclusively towards very narrow PDFs. Price point will probably be probably in the range of probably $4.99. It's not going to be anything real heavy. I think Eric Tenkar talked about this on his on one of his lives the other day. And also I think he talked about it on Venture Satanis's channel the other night over on what's it called? Rumble. And we're going to be developing Blades and Sorcery Core, and that's going to be a full range role-playing game. So basic will probably be something that if you want to get into it, you want to understand the basics of it, you need a quick, you're still looking for something quick and sharp to get playing and get going, you can go ahead and get moving on it using the Blades and Sorcery Basic. But Blades and Sorcery Core will be a full-scale role-playing game like a normal RPG with a lot of different races and classes and a lot of cool stuff. So, yeah. 30%. And see, you have to understand something. We're a little bit different than a lot of publishers in that we have a print and bind operation, we have machinery, we have to sit there and pay the light bill, we have to pay the electric bill, we have to sit there and pay the heating. We, want to now start carrying card stock and board stock, and we carry our 320 GSM black core and all that. And all of that costs a lot of money to source forward. And what you're doing is you're investing in product that's there just in case you sell it and you need it. Like if, we're going to put out a, like D20 Delving, if we're going to put out a board game, we have to carry all the board stock. We have to carry all the stock that make the boxes, all of the gloss paper that does all the box wraps and the board wraps, and the textured back paper for the boards. And we have to carry the dice, the figures. Like I'll give you an example. For D20 Delving, we have large format resin printers. We are printing alone almost 1,600 figures alone for one board game, and that's like not really big. I mean, it sounds like a big number, but 1,600 figures for a board game ain't really that much. That's, maybe 300 boards, 300 board games, 285, 286 board games. I mean, that's nothing, So, if we go mass distribution, which we're actually negotiating now with two full-line distributors, these are companies that are going to want to buy 1,000 games at a time. So we're going to have to print 10,000 figures, 12,000 figures at a time. So, and all that costs money because what does a bottle of resin cost? $20. How many figures can get out of a bottle of resin? So, going to a place like Drive-Thru RPG and for them to take 30% off the top, that cuts into our margin really, really heavy. So, and I'm becoming very, very margin picky in my business because, we want to move forward and have a frontal operation where people can walk in the front, have a retail operation in the front, have design in the middle, and manufacturing in the back. That's our goal, and we're close to it. So just a lot of stuff that's going on. There's a lot of things happening, and that what we're trying to do is we're trying to pay attention because, like I said, 30% is a hell of a lot, especially when you figure what MSRP is. You figure if you're going to sell to a hobby shop, game shop, they're going to take at least 42% off. They want 42 off retail. That's the industry standard. But if you're going through a distributor, the distributor wants to give 42 off to that hobby shop. So you got to give that distributor upwards of 55, 60% off. And that cuts heavily into your margins. And, people may argue and say, well, what does it matter? You're not selling the PDFs via distributing. I mean, just game distributors don't sell PDFs, but the PDFs and the sale of those PDFs help they beef up your margins, they beef up your profitability. So what you end up doing is, although you're taking a forward hit on printed product, PDFs can really be a boost and a boon to you because they're 100% pure margin for you after you get done with your your development costs. So yeah, being very picky about it now. Sankuther says, for what it's worth, it's not, and not hog the channel, but it's pronounced the Forgotten Minds of Dur Ul Ilm. Excuse me, I apologize. School me next time we talk on the phone. You are right. I need to pronounce my games properly. But I will say one thing, and I'm not blowing smoke up nobody's butt, and that is it's a really cool module. Greg put a lot of time into it. You can just tell. You can just tell that he took a lot of time and a lot of effort to it. So D20 Delving, I want to talk real quick about this. It's pretty important, is D20 Delving. We're going to get into this and we're going to get this product, our Kickstarters. Once that's done, we're going to be having D20 Delving a sequel, which is going to be the way D20 Delving is designed is what you can do is you can play the game by itself, but it's also expandable. So you can add a board to it, or you can play another board entirely by itself. So there's going to be expansions that will be coming with it. We already are connecting with the American Council of the Blind because they're very intrigued because of the QR code technology on it. We're going to be doing a final meeting with them because they're most likely going to be endorsing it. We have to reach out. Me and Tim are being interviewed by NPR, National Public Radio. We're going to be interviewed by them over D20 Delving here probably later on this summer, early fall, because they're intrigued by it. I expect once the American Council of the Blind endorses it and or our stories ran on NPR, I think what will happen is you'll see our sales go, and that's what we're hopefully going to be seeing with it. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. What I want to be able to do here is I want to be able to take each game that we do, and I want to find a very, I want to develop the game out the way it's supposed to be developed. I want to get it into people's hands. We have our children's game called Pooh. It's being changed now to Winnie the Pooh. I guess the name Pooh because it's short for Pooh, because that's what Christopher Robin calls Winnie the Pooh. He calls him Pooh. I guess that term offended a few people, and I got a few nasty emails over it. Yeah, believe it or not, I got nasty emails over a children's game name. So we're going to change it to The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, the learning game. Got to roll with the punches, folks. It is what it is. So that's going to go into production, and then my wife, who teaches the little ones at the age range is going to have it in her classroom, and she's going to put it through hardcore paces. Trust me, my wife will put it through the hardcore paces. So we have that going on, and we have a couple other projects we're in development with that I really don't want to get into right now until we kind of hone them out more. I'm going to start being a little bit more focal on projects also. What I want to be able to do is I want to have it where I think, in fact, I don't think, I know. My problem before, I think, has always been is I have a lot of these projects. I'm trying to get all these projects out, and I have far too many to get out in a timely manner. So what I've done is I've actually created a schedule, production schedule for 2024 and 2025. And basically what this is it's a production schedule and design schedule. So I actually have it where I want these games designed and ready to go, raw, preliminary, medium, or midline design, and then final design, then production. I got them all scheduled out. And we should be able to be hitting all of our schedules now pretty tightly, because I'm a little bit more picky and a little bit more forward thinking on such. So there's that. WizardCon 2025 is definitely going. We're starting to fill up. We're getting more and more people wanting to get tables. We got more and more people contacting us. The venue is actually getting their hotel now. Reservations are starting to book up. So go to wizardcon.org, wizardcon.org, and all the information is on there. We have a brand new website. It's really informative, a lot of info. And we have great news about WizardCon. Merle Rasmussen of Top Secret fame initially couldn't come because our convention was the weekend of Easter. And when we discovered that a couple weeks ago, we moved it. What he is doing is we reached out to him and said we moved it. He says, you know what, we're a go. Me and my wife are coming up. So Merle Rasmussen's going to be on over. He's going to be doing Top Secret and some other cool stuff. We're going to be talking to him probably in about 2 weeks about maybe doing some type of special gamer event where you can actually have a private game with Merle. And Top Secret's a really cool game. So happy to have Merle Rasmussen at WizardCon. We have a couple more contemporary guests that are pending right now. I am working on right now, besides the one aliens lady who's coming virtually. I'm right now talking with Michael Bien's agent, Michael Bien did start as Hicks in Aliens, and he also starred as he starred in the Terminator. I can't remember the character's name, but he had a major role in the Terminator. So we're trying to get him to come there. So if you're kind of like an Aliens fan, Terminator fan, he's a cool guy. I actually had him sign a couple of my pulse rifle props that I have from Aliens. So that's really cool. Netflame Zero, thank you for tuning in. Reese. So yes, so we're working on that. Hopefully we'll be able to have him come. At this point, I think his agent is double checking his schedule. So I think If the schedule is open, he will come. If not, it's due to a scheduling conflict, that type of thing. Thraxis says, got any video or pics of your print shop? Curious about your setup looks like. Actually, yes, we're going to go ahead and give like tours of it and all that once we get moved into our new digs. We're going to be giving, what I want to do, I want to start getting into like tutorials. Like, we have a TikTok, and I really want to use TikTok to like show like have like multi-video explanations. Like, this is how you bind a book. This is how, you start off with, you got to go ahead and you got to print it. This is how you print it. Then this is how you cut the pages. Then this is how you set the binding up. This is how you bind it. Or like when you do, large format 3D. Most people don't understand how big a large format 3D printer is. Because we use commercial large format 3D printers. And, when you have a build plate like this, and you're printing a lot of figures, I think it's a really cool process to show people about the 3D printing and how you can print those figures and how they operate. And then also things like the weird things people don't know. How do you make a board game? How do you make a box for a game? So that's what we want to do. We get into our new digs. I want to start doing like little videos on TikTok. We actually been kind of reserving our TikTok for that. So that's yeah, it's going to be really cool because that's my aim. I want to use the TikTok channel as kind of like a teaching channel, TikTok for kind of like the teaching videos and such like that. And then when we get like like as an example, like how do you build a board game? When we get like 6 or 8 videos that show you the process, what I'll do is I'll stitch them all together, and that's when we'll stick those on YouTube. So if you follow us on YouTube, you can go ahead and you can watch the stitch video, or you can go to TikTok and watch, 4 minutes at a time or 3 minutes at a time. I think it's like 3 minutes until you get like 1,000 subs. And then once we hit 1,000 subs on TikTok, we'll be able to start doing lives. And that's when we'll start doing like, you'll kind of know what I do during the day. I don't just sit at this computer all day. I'm in my shop. So we'll just do impromptu lives on TikTok where we'll go live for 15, 20 minutes, answer questions while we're working, and people can kind of get a vibe on, what it's like and such. So cool stuff. So that is pretty much, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's the end of month mashup. I didn't expect this video to be too long just because explaining to y'all what we're doing and kind of where we're going with it. But I want to talk about one more project. We have a project called Realms. Realms is a role-playing game in a deck. And the idea behind Realms is that you have a player character, your main character that you choose, and you have skills. You've got you got spells, and depending on what type of spell use you use, you can pick up like I said, equipment. There's situation cards that put you in a situation, and you play against another character, or a person can become the DM of the deck, and all you need is a deck of cards. And it's not like a collectible card game, so don't worry, you don't have to buy like one booster at a time. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to buy either the master set, which is like 286 cards, or you can buy player character decks. Player character decks will be like fighters, magic users, sorcerers, that type of thing, and you'll get like the player, maybe like 2 player character cards that follow that class, and you get like all the goodies that kind of go with it. And then of course, if you want to go ahead and you want to buy, like we're going to have like equipment decks and such like that. Brian Thomas says, you talked about drive-thru. Are your products going to be available on Amazon as well? Your own store? Yes. We actually just got selected by Facebook for being verified at Wizard Tower Games. So we are now verified on Facebook. And the reason why I say that with Amazon is Amazon for businesses, as of July 1st, they have now kind of revamped the way they handle businesses. And they really want to make sure that if you're selling on the Amazon platform, number one, and they're not stocking your product, that you're going to fulfill product. They want to make sure that you're a verified business, you're legitimate, and that you have stock that you can back up. So we actually are going through that product or that process right now with them. So as far as game books go, my game books are going to be available on Barnes and Noble and also Amazon. Um, we are working with a distributor right now. Are gonna and if we get through with the distributor, then they're also going to be available in about, I think, like 6 or 8 other major retailers. But we're kind of like in negotiations with right now. Um, let's take a look here. Taylor says, will you pre-sell these projects or sell only when available? We're going to start getting more into sell only when available. The only time I think anymore that we're going to pre-sell a project if it's a very special project. But what I want to start doing now a little bit different also is, and I kind of learned a lesson with Lost Adventures is, you know, you enter it with the best intentions and then delays happen. So what I'd rather do is I'm going to start doing, if we do any type of pre-selling T-Tailor that's wrapped around a project that's not out yet, it'll either be via Kickstarter or backer kit. The backer kit and Kickstarter will not be started until 2 things happen. One, I have that game almost done, and we have the material in stock to make the game. That way there ain't no more delays. And then with things like projects that we're doing that are not Kickstarted and stuff like that, like let's say it's a special project with someone, I want to make sure at the very minimum we have the manuscript, we have the plan, it's edited, so the big part's out of the way as far as that, and we're actually either in physical layout and we have the manufacturing product in stock. I'm not going to play any more of these games where, you know, paper suppliers are horrible. It's in stock, we'll go ahead and ship it to you. Thank you. Then all of a sudden, oh, we ran out of stock. Sorry about that. You should have ordered it 2 hours earlier. When are you going to get paper in? 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks. Like, thank you very much. You know, thank you for doing that to me. You know, so yeah, we're just going to be a little bit more mindful, bit better prepared. That's the best way of putting it. And, you know, like I said, I think I say in a lot of my videos that when I make a mistake, I own up to it. I man up to it and I apologize to it. And I think that there's better ways that I could have handled it. But there's one thing that I do is I learn from my mistakes. I'm very cognizant when I make a mistake, and what I want to do is I want to make sure that those mistakes are not or not repeated. Netflame Zero says, well, things happen. I understand all the delays you had, to be honest. Well, I appreciate that. You know, the thing is, one thing that we try to be like, even with Tim, is me and Tim try to be very forthcoming. We try to say, you know what, although nobody likes bad news, I'd rather give you the bad news and be honest than bullshit you. Because if I BS you and you find out I BS you, then I'm a liar. And nobody likes a liar. So I'd rather just say, you know what? You ain't going to like this, but it ain't coming out this week or this month. And I've had such huge support with the Lost Adventures of Gary Con. You know, everybody's been super on it, and I appreciate it. So, and the nice thing about that is, you know, to understand it when you're dealing with a small game company, believe me, we get it, and we appreciate it a lot. Me and Tim both do. Me and Tim talk all the time, and you know, Tim does his weekly curmudgeon in the cellar. You know, they come out every Saturday morning, and we share it on all our social media, and you know, he'll talk about it too and everything. So yeah, so good stuff. So basically, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we have a few more projects in the fire, but I'm just going to wait on those because I don't want to start talking about projects until we're into them and we're doing, you know, and such like Pooh. You know, we didn't even mention Pooh until Pooh was ready to go. Oh, I will say one more quick thing. Netflix says, well, I've been Kickstarter since 2012, so I get bad things happen. You know, they do. You know, and the thing is, the funny thing is, you know, when you try to be proactive and you're like, you know what, I don't like ordering out of China, you know, but you know what, I'm going to do it for this Kickstarter because I'm going to be proactive because we're ready to go. Everything is ready to go and everything goes beautifully. And then they arrive in the US and they're held, you know, it's like, oh, you know, but that's another thing. You know, when you start announcing where you ordered things from and when you start saying who you got them from, you open yourself up for individuals to play games. And that's where I'm going to leave that at. So we're just basically going to, we're going to make sure that when we say it's coming, from now on, it's going to come. And when I say it's going to be premiering sometime in July, it's going to premiere in July. Or if we say it's going to come in October, it's going to come in October. But we're kind of getting prepared for that. So Netflame also has also seen Kickstarters fail. It happens. You know what? I want to address that real quick. Failing Kickstarters. Okay. Kickstarters don't fund. That's how they fail. Okay, fine. You run a Kickstarter. Maybe you're not interesting enough. Maybe it's not the right product for right now. Maybe you're not getting the right audience. Kickstarters fail. It's not a crime. You know, too many people look at a Kickstarter when it fails and say, oh, the project sucked. No. You know, Goodman Games just got done doing a Kickstarter, and I think they did almost $700,000 on like a $5,000 or $10,000 goal. Well, Goodman Games has a huge reach, so they were able to rally their following by using their social media very smartly, and they really kicked butt on this. But there's one thing I don't agree with, and that is Kickstarters that fail and never come to fruition. Be late, that's fine, but if you're going to get a ton of money from your backers, then you deliver your product. Because where does that money go? And I'm not going to point fingers at anybody, and I'm not accusing any specific company or anything like that. But I'll say it like this. Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern has went ahead and followed this one yo-yo who's now into movie making. And that yo-yo was a serial Kickstarter guy, and he never delivered a Kickstarter. Where does that money go? That's the thing that gets me in the ruffle. It's not like you're late. People get late. We're late on D20 Delving. It happens. Keep your Kickstarter people informed and follow through with it, because that money's got to go somewhere. So if you raise $25,000, why can't you get a project up and running? You know, it just doesn't make sense to me, because I know what it runs over in Japan, in China, and what, not Japan, sorry, China to manufacture. I know what it runs statewide to manufacture. If you're going to go to some of these stateside manufacturing operations. And manufacturing in China is actually pretty damn easy. They actually will send you even the patterns that you have to make everything fit and do. So it's kind of dummy proof dealing with Japan. And, you know, they're so professional there now, they'll walk you through step by step by step in doing it. And when you get some of these Kickstarters, like there's one that I saw that raised a lot of money, and they never delivered. And my question as a game company is, okay, it never delivered. Why? You raised like $75,000. Where did that money go? You know, but that's just me. So we will deliver D20 Delving. I mean, the thing is with us is, you know, if you pay for it, you're owed it. And I don't go off this Kickstarter theory of, well, you know, you're not really buying the product, you're backing the company. No, go ahead and go to GoFundMe and say, I want to start a game company and I need 50 grand, 80 grand, 100 grand. Then that goes to the game company. When you go to Kickstarter and you say, you know, I want to create Lost Adventures of Gary Con, you know, please go ahead and you know, support it by, this is my goal, and you get your goal, produce the game, get it to your customers. But I'll probably catch shit online for that, but I don't care. It's how I feel. Just me. But yeah, so that's the end of month mashup. We're only at 40 minutes. Usually I keep about an hour, but like I said, it's the end of the month mashup. I like to kind of get people into it and, you know, get you guys the update, and it is when it is. So I appreciate everybody tonight. Thank you guys for commenting. Thanks for watching my video. Please hit a like and subscribe to my channel here. It helps me grow my channel. And this is Don from Wizard Horror Games signing off. And look for our social media. We're going to be going ahead and doing a lot of updates, showing product and everything. And look out, starting tomorrow, people are going to start getting trackers in the mail for the Lost Adventures of GaryCon. So everybody, have a good night, and we'll talk to you next week. See you later.